In the heart of East Africa lies Uganda, a country known for its vibrant culture, rich biodiversity, and diverse population. Uganda is also a nation that has been on a journey to strengthen its democratic processes, ensuring inclusion and integrity for all its citizens. The Democratic Governance Facility, established in July 2011, provided harmonized, coherent and well-coordinated support to state and non-state entities in a bid to build citizen-state democratic processes and enhance accountability in Uganda. The DGF supported its implementing partners to contribute towards these goals, especially strengthening inclusion and the integrity of electoral processes. Ensuring the inclusion of all citizens, including women, young people, and persons with disabilities in the democratic processes, fosters voice and accountability of leaders to citizens. The DGF and its implementing partners have actively engaged in initiatives that empower marginalized communities and amplify their voices.
UPIMAC yo kyeyamba batusomesa nti abantu mulina okubakobera ekyokukola. Wabula twenda kwekalakaasa kulwana wabula balina okukoba nga bagoba emitendera emituufu era twagoba emitendera emituufu twaja paka ninze mwene nga nabayamba kuba osomesa abantu nga tezena nikukyazena nimbwetavu wa amadi twaja paka wa water engineer eiganga era bwe twatuuka eyo batukobera ekyokukola batukoba tulina okubakinga ssente emitwalo gatya abiri andi abasomesa nti ekisiranga kituuse bajja tuwana ikonte ayi gena abanga efire tinabajja okanika. So tulina okusonda emitwalo abiri twale kwa akaunti then batusimire ki amaadi era bwe kyali twasonda essente twatwala ku akaunti baida batusimira amaadi ayenge emisomo gyonna UPIMAC ne tusomesa
akati twenda okutuyambaku tujja kutwala mu training akati fe tuvire mu kitongole kya UPIMAC nga obuvunaanyizibwa bwaife omulimu gwaife kyetwetaaga n'okutwala ku training. Ng'ova mu training oyira osobola okuyamba ku abantu baife okusobola okutegeera ku buvunaanyizibwa bwabwe, okutegeera ku idembe lyabwe ery'obuntu, okutegeera gavumenti biki byekola era bona balina buvunaanyizibwa ki gavumenti bwebanga waliwo programs zideerese. Since olina ekanisa wano ate baamu abantu bangi oyida akozesanga ku akaseera ako bwebanga waliwo eddakiika ate niwo omusumba waayo okobere ku abantu obuvunaanyizibwa obwo. Nze nga mwene UPIMAC ng'osoose waleka abantu abandi training UPIMAC gye yampa yanamba nze ng'omuntu ndina bingi bye nayeega era kinambyeku nze newankubaire UPIMAC tumaze emyaka egiwera aye nga titulikola nabo okusinziira ku bizibu ebyaliwo.
Building sustainable democratic structures requires the active involvement of political leaders and civil society organizations.
We have a number of civil society organizations in Uganda that would like to use the law as a tool of advocacy, but do not have that legal resource within their internal setup. And so as a network, we provide the platform to support any initiative that is pursuing issues public interest. And so that is how we get in touch with Kituo Cha Katiba. Much as we come in as the legal resource, we also help to build their capacities to a certain level for them to appreciate the power of the law and what the law can do.
Kituo Cha Katiba supported a project which led to authorship of two important books by Justice of the Supreme Court, Professor Lilian Chirikubinza, who co-authored two publications together with Dr. Businje Kabumba, who is also a lecturer in a law lecturer in Makerere University. Some of us, we provided raw information to them. We gave them a bit of our knowledge about some of the court cases in which we were involved. They also gave us opportunity to make input into that publication. Personally, I made a very modest contribution to the outcome of those two books. But my law firm has benefited immensely from the usage of these books. I think half of my lawyers all have their own copies and we love them a lot. We litigate election matters. At any moment we have an election matter pending.
The ideal should be that we work on regional projects that provide comparative best practices that can be drawn on. We actually had a process of gender action planning with the various political parties. We helped them to develop gender plans, gender policies. Some parties developed the Women's Charter, and this actually helped individual parties such as FTC to make allotment for women at 40% representation on both elective and administrative positions within the party. And also UPC has actually had to amend their constitution to make room for 60% of their leadership being women.
Integrity of democratic processes such as elections is crucial for legitimacy and accountability of leaders. Even though the journey has not always been linear, some reforms have been achieved, harboring the potential to improve the quality of electoral processes in Uganda. This is due to the implementing partners' diligent efforts to advocate for electoral reforms.
The citizens in those districts were able to see a very high voter turnout in those districts of our civic and voter education, but above all, we saw peaceful elections. And even when you look at the quality of leaders in those communities, you see there is a little bit of difference in terms of their quality of members of parliament, in terms of debating, in terms of engaging in issues. It means at least citizens were fairly at par in agreeing who is best placed to represent that interest.
Within this project, we were able to mobilize politicians, we were able to mobilize religious leaders, we were able to mobilize the electorate to appreciate the need to legislate on campaign financing. So they were able to appreciate and then whisper to the Attorney General that we should consider including provisions on campaign financing in the electoral amendments.
DGF partners have made great strides to empower marginalized communities to assert their civic and political rights, dismantle discrimination, and to influence political processes and outcomes at local and national level. Strengthening inclusion in democratic processes ensures dialogue and better development outcomes and benefits all of us by contributing to peace and sustainability.